It's supposed to be like the frog on the map is the Houston toad, endangered species. We need to think about that when we're doing a burn here. Like, okay, on the property there's also neighbors that have livestock. On the property there's a house. On the property maybe a historic bridge. How can we navigate doing a burn in the safest way possible? Because if the kids walk away with anything, I want them to know that doing a prescribed burn takes a lot of time and is actually a relatively safe thing when done the right way. And then, mm, 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 where is this? So during that setting the stage process, basically where I'm describing that this is a real place that we're imagining, I eventually want them to have them write like with a template, like a letter to the fire marshal and be like, okay, there's this property that's experiencing this problem. We need to do a prescribed burn. Um, so kind of get them writing too, because we have a lot of struggles with kids my age, just have a hard time writing. So anytime I can do that, I do that. So then the main point of this, the main thing that we're doing is the burn plan. And just to kind of show you a little bit of my thought process with this, I took the Texas Park and Wildlife burn plan, and I basically use that as my template. Obviously, I kind of you'll see in a second, but I changed it a lot. But this is a really cool resource. Like, and I will show them this. This is like a real burn plan, and it has a lot of highly detailed stuff that to the kids is a little bit too nuanced, but I think it's good for them to see it. And basically, what I did is I set up this project where I tried to like partition each part of the burn plan into like a little project that the kids can work on together. So I will show you that now. And again, feel free to look through this stuff, even if you're tapping through it as I talk, it's no big deal. So we'll go to the burn plan project. I think I'm doing good on time, 7 minutes. Okay, if it loads, lots of little pictures there. So this is going to actually be like the handouts with it. And I'll mention that there's some online tools that I'll have them use kind of in tandem with this. Basically, the gist of it is that there's four different roles. We have the burn boss role. We have the logistics manager role. We have the safety specialist. And then we also have the weather expert. This is kind of like a classic way of doing projects at the middle school level is you give people different roles. They get kind of excited, like, oh, I'm the weather expert, stuff like that. So the main point of it, here's a good example of it, like the logistics manager. They are responsible for these little icons, and they're going to have to, on paper, draw for them. They're responsible for writing the vehicle routes. And we're going to talk a little bit about like the anatomy of a prescribed burn and stuff like that. And these people, they need to figure out where the fire truck's going to go. They need to figure out where the ATVs that are going to ignite the fire need to go. And they'll have to actually draw that on the little map. And they know that they're responsible for 10 fire crew members and they know the equipment they have and they basically have to like place them on the map. Um, Another good example here, right? The safety specialist, they're going to be responsible for making the wet line and they draw the wet line with the little water droplets. They position an emergency evacuation plan, like a spot for everyone to run to if a fire gets out of control. And it's interesting planning this stuff for kids this age because it's like trying to balance the realism of it with the their capabilities and how to make it accessible and interesting. So here, like the weather expert, a good one to talk about because there's a on the Texas Prescribed Burn Association website, it gives you details of how to actually get like a ash juniper sample and microwave it, and you can test the fuel moisture using that. I'm also gonna get the with the budget, the it's like a little handheld weather monitor, and we'll actually go outside together and look at like the forecast, what it predicted versus the actual. Um, but yeah, there's also online smoke management tools where you can like simulate a burn in an area and you can see where the smoke is gonna go and stuff. So still trying to work out exactly how much of it I want on paper, how much I want online, kind of a blend of it. But overall, this right here is like the gist of it. Very kind of boiled down. to the age group that I'm working with, and hopefully, ideally, a little bit fun, perhaps. And I think that's my 10 minutes, and I think I talked about everything. I know we have 5 minutes also allocated for questions. If anyone has any questions of maybe how you could I don't know, amp this up for high school students or above, perhaps.
I appreciated how you broke it down to your grade level. It made me curious. I don't want to, I might put Katie Hoskins on the spot. Do you see any of this kind of being helpful for youth range workshop or any of those type programs, or do y'all already cover this?
Yes, I think it would be helpful. We do cover some of this. We usually always have one day with a prescribed burn, and we'll have a certified insured prescribed burn manager kind of lead the day. But this was very good.
I want my kids to take your class.
Oh, that's sweet. I appreciate that. I try my best. You definitely
It's
want them in
really cool.
specific class periods of mine. Some of mine are a little rowdy, but
I also second Melissa. That's very nicely how do you take the most important essentials, break that down for the appropriate level, and that's very nice.
thank you. I spent some time thinking about it, believe it or not.
William, just curious. So, for your student, is this part of a science class or any session of a bigger class? So, which part is fit in, or a separate special topic?
Yeah, so this is where we can build this in is we have kind of this period where we have an ecosystems unit, which one of the things we focus on is human impact on ecosystems, which is very easy to boil that into. We also have one that's the unit is specifically called human impact on the hydrosphere, which is human impact on water. So that you could kind of weasel that one in there as well. But I also some of the kids take an elective that I don't teach, but I'll definitely get in touch with the person who teaches it. We teach like an ag elective class, where they talk more about land management and stuff like that. So I think that would be kind of a perfect fit there as well. So I'd definitely be willing to share that with her.
I really I
Yeah.
really like how you use the actual TPWD burn plan template. I think that's good for the students to see.
Definitely, yeah. There's a bunch of cool web resources on there. Like that's where I found that smoke management tool, and they give a really easy step by step of, like I said, how to microwave the ash juniper sample, because that's our main issue here. It's pretty simple. You just need a microwave and like some napkins basically, and you can see like, okay, is it safe to burn or not?
Any other questions for William? What about any of you think that this something similar to this might work for your class as well? Although it's I know most of you at different levels.
Mm.
Hey, William, I got a question.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this looks great, and I really appreciate all of the awareness about all sorts of different things, whether it's like you mentioned, the cross-curricular with the history classes, endangered species like the Houston toad and all of that.
Yeah.
Um, I was wondering if I was trying to look through some of your resources here to get a better feel, but within the burn plan or the planning, will
Mhm.
your students, are they coming up with goals for what they're hoping the burn accomplishes?
Yeah, that's perfect. That's one thing that's meant to be in that setting the stage slide that I haven't set up. I
Okay.
think if you tap through that, eventually there's like a
Okay. Okay.
goals and justifications thing that's blank at the moment.
Okay.
It's kind of funny if you look at the Texas Parks and Wildlife burn plan. I won't search for it because it might take me too long. But most of it is blank, and like they want you to fill it in, but their
Right.
goals and justification, they have a typed out answer. Like they want you to use that. And it's
Okay.
basically like we're gonna do a safe burn, pretty much. That's like the goal. But
Okay.
I am gonna have them, a part of that is gonna be that letter to the fire marshal sort of
Okay.
thing. And like I will write back as the fire
Okay.
marshal, obviously kind of the next day of like, yes, you have permission to burn, and then they start the thing. But a part of that like letter template that I'm going to set up that isn't done yet will be we need to list out exactly why we're doing this burn. And it's going to be like because of the growth of ash juniper on the
Okay.
property. And then it's going to be like, okay, we're acknowledging these things on the map that we need to be careful of.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So yeah, goals and justification is definitely like a key part of it. That'll probably take like a full day for us, to be honest.
Okay. And I know time is definitely of the essence whenever you're working with seventh graders.
Yeah.
But I was thinking that maybe something like post fire effects, that you have something prepared so they don't necessarily have to imagine what happened, but you have something and say, okay, let's take a look, and this is what occurred. Did we meet our goals or not? So were those objectives met or something like that?
Yeah, definitely. I think that'd be good too to try to find maybe poke around on that Burn Association website to
Mhm.
see if they have like a video of a
If it-
before and after or something, which I'm sure definitely exists.
Yeah.
Nice. I appreciate that. That's good input.
Hey, thanks. That's great.